Hey y'all, welcome to this segment of AKT Celebrity Reads. I'm your host, Alexis K. Tyler. I'm doing part two of this reading on Michael Gideon, one of the owners of the Republic nightclub that was murdered in front of his own nightclub by so-called friend Jonathan Soto on Saturday, February 4th, 2023. That was at his funeral, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2023, Ebenezer Baptist Church. I really didn't know where this was going to go. All I know is my head is hurting so bad. It feels like I've been shot in my head. It's like I think I feel what this man felt when he was shot in the head. I have to go back and look to see where in the head because I don't see the front. For some reason, I see the side of his head. I don't know if it's side back, and it hurt like hell. I've been in so much pain since I did the reading. I think that might have been yesterday, and I've been in pain. My head been killing me so bad. Sometimes I get migraines. I try not to get them too often, but this is different because it's also hurting on the side and the back of my head, or toward the back of my head. As I've been thinking about him in the situation when I gave the first reading the other day. And I don't have all the information yet, but I did look it up. And that type of fish I described, lionfish or lion shark, tiger fish, tiger shark, that does live in the Dominican Republic. I'm not saying for sure he's there, but for some reason I see him in an ocean. I don't know if they call it an ocean state or ocean country, or country surrounded by ocean, or island country that's surrounded by ocean. I'm looking at Atlantic and Pacific, and for some reason, this Atlantic Ocean is coming up. I don't know why. If that means he's on the other side of the Atlantic. It separates him from the U.S. to another country that is surrounded by ocean, water, and other islands. I would have to look if this man is there, which they're telling me I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I thought he was also Eritrean. He is Dominican Republic. He's Dominican from Dominican Republic. I don't know how long he's been in Atlanta, but it's still something doesn't add up with me. If this man's been a problem to this family, they've known him for 20 years, somebody said, but I also heard 10 years, and he's been a problem all that time, was banned from the club. I don't know if the family said this or if this is true, but I saw something where it said that he was now working in a news article. He was working for the family as a promoter, a club promoter. I don't understand why they would hire him as a club promoter if he's such a problem and a nuisance in that club that they kept him out of that club. Another thing I'm seeing, I wanted this man bisexual. Do this man mess with men? Because every time I look at this reading on Michael Gideon, not him, I don't see he mess with men and that he was homosexual. The shooter, the killer, mess with men. Apostle go both ways and has a drug habit and would deal with drug dealers. And there are underworld ties here. Now, again, this is all alleged in the spirit, what I believe I hear this man, Michael Gideon, saying to me. And it is blowing my mind here, what he's saying, because it reminds me of what Kevin Samuel said with City of Atlanta government and politics and clubs and hip hop and music and managers and hip hop and producers and directors in hip hop, and how all them in production and music is tied to the clubs and the nightlife and the radio and the drugs and the sex trafficking and the child trafficking and the prostitution, as well as religion and churches and the Georgia Assembly. The Georgia House of Representatives, he said you can buy seats, you can sell seats, and it's all tied to City of Atlanta government, the City of Atlanta zoning and real estate. He said in every zone, Now, first of all, let me say this is alleged. This is a spiritual reading. I'm a psychic medium. I speak to those that are physically dead yet still alive. So this is all alleged. I'm seeing this in the spirit. I have no proof of what I'm saying. And this is just a reading for entertainment purposes only. This man, Michael Gidewon, is telling me that there is a underworld current with organized crime and Russian mafia. He didn't say that was the only one, but for some reason, Russian mafia comes up on top, then Mexican, and he said Asian. These are, and we know European runs everything. He say in every district, every zone, because we have zones in Atlanta. If you have a nightclub, anything dealing with entertainment, nightclubs, alcohol, he said those zones, regular people don't know, they are secretly controlled by certain politicians and lobbyists that pay politicians to control or to give them control and kickbacks in those areas that are also organized crime. He said, if you have a nightclub, like I say, I'm trying to figure out what the man is saying. Because I'm not saying he was involved in organized crimes or organized crime or any type of shady dealings, but he's telling me underneath there he's seeing. And he said that's how the politics work. You have to be politically connected and pay people and pay someone. And the Georgia House of Representatives also dealing with state law and federal law to get somebody to speak for you on your behalf, to move around certain things in certain circles, because in certain areas where you have a club, there is also people that run those clubs and handle those clubs. You might be a front guy. Now, I know he was the owner and having a business partner, so I'm trying to put this together. I don't have it all together. I'm just going to drop the little bit that's coming to me, that he's saying to me. There's dirty money underneath a lot of these places, or they get shut down. Because if you don't have the muscle of a very powerful group with a lot of money to protect you, and you're not able to pay police and politicians to protect you and have you protected and running your business in these certain zones. He said, because the alcohol and the drug use, you selling the alcohol, you have your licenses for that, but also to be able to sell a certain amount and be protected and not be robbed. Yeah, these connections. He said, then the drug use, you can't control all of it. He said, but we know that happens, but there are certain areas wherever a club is that people run that district in the organized mob, different ones. And some, he mentioned Russian mafia, and he mentioned them in Buckhead and the north side of town, where there's a lot of problems in Buckhead and crime, and it's associated and controlled. He said a lot of these black people, he said, you'd be surprised, work for Russian mob and Mexican mob and work with Asians on the low, and they do their dirty work for them and sell drugs and sell humans. He said the top level, Lord forgive me, I could be getting this wrong. He said the top level of government in Atlanta, secretly and on the government side, are controlled by a very powerful underworld on the low and politically connected on the top. Republican Party that is boy lovers, Lord Jesus. He said, whole city of Atlanta. He said, you see these men, and see, I've noticed this for years. Whenever you see, you know, there's all the men in the city of Atlanta that work as politicians or work for the different city of Atlanta offices, mayor offices, polices and things. They always have a fade clean shave. A lady told me yesterday that her friend lived in Atlanta, was talking to Supernova at one time, and a full son. And when she heard me talk about it, she called me, was telling me about this yesterday. She said he used to come up her house in Atlanta. He would call her, they would date. And she said one thing she noticed about him that she thought was very strange, said his skin was real smooth and soft and buttery like, with no hair on his face or nowhere over his body. That's true. said it wasn't like a real nigga skin. It's like a skin of a man that met with men. That's what she said. I didn't say this here. And I said, what? I said, you notice I noticed that. I said, did you notice the teeth? She said, yep, she definitely noticed the teeth. And she had an issue with that and said that he told her that Africa Booty Bambaataa was his uncle. And when she asked him about them children, see, you know what, Lord have mercy. I have to be careful on this channel, Jesus. Said that Supernova said that them children asked him to mess with them in they butt when they was little. And she looked at him like he was crazy. So wait a minute, you said that some children actually wanted Africa Bambaataa to rape them. Said he looked at her and said, yeah, and said that the most she looked at him in person, he looked like a smooth skinned sissy. And I said, that's what I'm talking about. That's why it never went nowhere. Because I could see that and then like to mess with a lot of women. Okay. In the city of Atlanta, if you ever see what I'm talking about and you meet some of them employees that's men's down there, all of them got that clean shaved face with no mustache or a little piece of mustache hooked into a little bit of goatee and a little piece of skin with some hair on it underneath their damn chin. See, little light, like a little thin line together because most of them mess with men. And see, this man here is confirming this and saying that the nightlife, the club life is tied to government politics and seats in the House of Representatives and other politicians where you have to grease their palm and make a lot of payoff and tied to hip hop and the top radios and hip hop managers and organized crime and black gangs as well as Mexican gangs and Russian mobbies. So you're going to have to know who to deal with and navigate through and move around because that's the undercurrent. And then it says tied to this civil rights movement because let me tell you who's here today. The first black mayor, Maynard Jackson, been in here all day. Hosea Williams, which was a powerful political leader, but he wasn't considered part of the in crowd and the black bourgeoisie half-breed Creole group like Maynard Jackson, but Maynard Jackson was real cool though. He wasn't stuck up and nothing like that. He was real cool. Maynard Jackson, MLK, Dick Gregory, Malcolm X, Coretta Scott King. Look, I don't know what's going on, but they are standing here looking at this saying we finna get ready to deal with another civil rights era where there is persecution, humiliation, degradation, and lockdown for niggas in Atlanta. Michael Gidewon told me they got this cyber unit. He said that's worse than the K9, the Red Dog unit that I grew up around in the early 90s. The Red Dog unit I told y'all about. Go around here sicking them German shepherds on niggas that was selling drugs on the corner and just locking them up and stealing their money and stealing their drugs and throwing their shit on the ground. I saw this here. In the 90s, called them the Red Dog Unit. Because I think they said that lady that's tied to one of these shootings, I don't know if it's up there in Memphis or somewhere like that, but one of the black men was just killed. She used to be down here police in the city of Atlanta with that Red Dog Unit doing them black men's real dirty and setting them up and playing dope on them and shit and selling the dope. You know, like I said, I'm trying to get this out to you and my head hurting so bad. I'm just standing up and leaning over my counter right now. I'm not even laying down. I'm just standing up, leaning over. Trying to see if this will help my head. I'm just trying to tell y'all what the little bit Michael Gidewon have brought to me. He said, it's going to happen again. He said, because they got this special jail waiting for this. He said that they've been killing. So they got them in these prisons. He said they don't know about it. They're finna bring this new technology out in this new prison system. The police said it. Well, he said they released these drones. He said they already got the drones out and you don't know that you being watched by them. He said it's finna be some more released out on this special program they got, he said, where the elite blacks don't consider themselves like the lower blacks or the low income blacks on food stamp, welfare and all that, and said they finna snatch the rug from out from underneath them, make them homeless, set them up to kill each other, rob each other, starve, go to jail or hell, and then showed me the Chattahoochee River. Says two sides of it. I didn't look at it yet, north, south, east, west, but I know one side is for white, one side is black, and said that one side for black and have problem with their toilet water and drinking water. It's especially south side. So see, y'all need, like I have told y'all before about this water, y'all think Palestine, Ohio just got a problem? It's going to be moving down them big old rivers, like I have tried to tell y'all. Big bodies of water and dams and over big bridges. Where this stuff is moving, because that's a bad problem. You're going to see pregnant women, if they up there drinking that water in Palestine, deform. Just like them frogs come out gay and bisexual and have 5 and 6 legs and 2 ovaries and 2 penises, or the male frog be born with no penis at all and 2 titties and 6 dicks and 3 asses. I mean, y'all going to see this kind of stuff from coming up there. And them people know it, because I seen some of them. Got a man was holding a little baby. He said, I'm not taking my baby back in that house. They said it's safe to go in there. The EPA said it's safe to go in there. He said, but I know it's not, because I could smell this stuff in there, and I'm not taking it was a newborn baby. I'm not taking my baby back in my house. And they're trying to tell them everything is all right. Now, Michael Gidewon is saying they have had this program, this cyber type of program, where they can spy on people, look in their house and have drone tagged to somebody that's also going to be tagged to a bracelet that they wear on their ankle. Monitor them and have these cyborg type of human. It's now where they already taken they parts out of them in jail or doing experiments on them. He said, because it's a system that once you lock somebody up and you go to jail and you think that's it, they either get out or they die in there and they take their body. He said it's the same as in entertainment with hip hop. He said there's been a secret underground organization of human body part smuggling and trafficking. That's big money. He said, and big business. And it goes up on the stock market. He said, there's a secret market here inside of the, God, I don't feel comfortable saying this here. Or the organized underworld of other races taking it. He said, and what's one of the top things that they sell from people of color is the soft organ. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, if any medical peoples is in here, or what I'm finna say, you Google this or something, like blood is considered an organ, even though blood is soft, like blood is fluid. Blood is liquid and soft inside of the vein. Once they get it out of there, they have to prepare that blood to keep it liquefied without getting real thick and clotted up like and drying, but it's also considered an organ, like a body part or something like that. And said that's real hot. The blood, said the arteries, the veins, the central nervous system, like the nerves in the body, the cartilages in the body, joints, like kneecaps and stuff, the brain, like the glands in the body, because they make things out of the gland, and like the testicle and the ovaries. Jesus. Said you're going to see this because Atlanta going to be on lockdown, like the city of Atlanta, and wherever you see a lot of poor black people. And Jose William with the Feed the Hungry, I don't know if he's cheering. Thank you for people for donating to support me. Hit my cash up, make it clap. Because if you don't, I can't stay here. I'm gonna have to do this recording somewhere else because I don't feel comfortable with this. It seems like every time I try to warn y'all and say stuff like this, then people want to get mad at me. And I'm just trying to repeat with these people that were in these industries, living in a physical body. Now they've gotten out of the physical body and they are warning me, telling me these things that are going on to get you prepared, because it's then he said it's police city It's going to be a cyber city, and they're going to start registering people and IDing them through their retina and their hand and their fingerprint. They're moving this to a cashless society, and actually to lock down a certain amount of the population. Then he mentioned these babies. A lot of these people of color, so-called black folks, have babies, they're not going to make it because they're already born tagged and drugged. Okay. Going to give them stuff. And then a lot of these women are on drugs that are pregnant with them, or telling them it's okay to take a certain drug while they're pregnant. You see these lawsuits they have out now for women that were taking Tylenol. Tylenol was considered harmless, and now they have lawsuits because a lot of these women that were pregnant and taking Tylenol, their babies came out with problems. So they don't want them to develop and evolve. And what else was he saying? It's so much that was tied into this music industry, hip hop industry. Yes, said that they are looking, and they've had private meetings in different cities. And Atlanta is one of the cities that is targeted for a cleansing ritual for the elite. Means there will be a purging for what they call the unnecessaries, and then to bring in the Mexicans to vote and to do the work that they no longer need the niggers to do, or they consider them useless eaters. And said a lot of them getting ready to be eliminated, locked up, then be destroyed, targeted. They have certain ones that are targeted for annihilation inside of there. And then a lot of others, they let them do what they want to do, come in and out of there, the jail, give them the car to drive, set folks up, have drones to drop drugs off to them, or the officers bring them in, or let them out to go kill people, and then they come back in, and you never know the person that was an inmate did it, because every time you check, that person locked up. Let them travel around. He said, and a lot of them, to get what they want and to do these deals, met with men, said that the government on the top, a lot of them officials, they might be married and have women as bills and children, but they undercover had these male parties and these male escort parties and these transsexual parties, and met with children. That he said he moved around and he didn't want nothing to do with that. And he said, but he knew what that was and where that was, and he would avoid those types of things. And said it'd be a lot of dirty money. For some reason, he brought up P. Diddy. Didn't P. Diddy have a group called Dirty Money? Said that him and some other rappers are also tied up into these clubs and investments or secret financing, or getting stuff on people and setting folks up. And that he really didn't like Big Meech. And he, some kind of way, I don't know if they had a disagreement, or he didn't like Big Meech, or was jealous of Big Meech, and some kind of way say was tied up with dirty money. Now, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm saying it a little bit, because this man know everybody's business, because he was inside of there. And then his buddy, Nipsey, messy than a motherfucker. So he's right there knowing along the same shit. He's going into banking institution and money laundering. He said a lot of these clubs underneath had that going on, and hitting their own peoples off, setting their own peoples up, because they have secret investors that are tied to different mobs, and it's dirty money, and they launder the money, and it says something coming up. Some kind of corruption tied to politicians, club owners, organized crime and drug dealing, and votes and paying for seats. And the Georgia Assembly with politicians. I'm not finna name no names here, but see that tie into what Kevin Samuels had said. and these secret parties and secret groups tied into television, entertainment, all that. Said if you don't make them type of meetings and get approved in them private sessions or pay somebody for some, or if you ain't having sex with men. He said that's how a lot of this stuff go down, even with these rappers sleeping with powerful men in politics and music and stuff. And entertainment or setting people up, getting stuff on them, raping and drugging people, murdering people. And you just be like, oh, a certain rapper or girl was associated with him, was found dead or found high in the toilet or in the dumpster or back in the alley somewhere, or, mysteriously died or got shot. And he said it's not, these things don't be accidents. They put them together to make them look like that when the person talking too much or the person getting out of line or the person don't want to do what they did or you trying to hook this person up with that person. And he said it ties into civil rights too, because a lot of those, okay, look at MLK. Oh yes, also Ralph David Abernathy is in here, and he mentioned Andrew Young. So is Andrew Young still physically alive? See, them was them bootleg half-breed families that they put in charge in every city. See, them Creole families. They do in and everything and inbreed and do all kinds of dirty shit and get away with it. Who's saying, if you look at MLK and you look at that balcony in Memphis, them was not his friends. And they knew because they were all part of the order, the Masonic order. And King had started to wake up. Just like he had also met with Malcolm X. Said that them the one that knowed he was going to be shot and sold them out. See, I can't help but look at that, because then I look at Michael Gideon and I see he tied into those elite bootleg black societies, niggas, and entertainment. And I don't know why. And that's fine if people that know him said it. I don't know what I'm talking about. This man, Jonathan Soto, was just always jealous and crazy. But why he didn't shoot him till now? And why was he still allowed to promote for their club? Because this keeps going back to assassination, and with someone in a business suit on some level of one of his organizations that is a murderer. But you don't want to get your hands dirty direct. He keeps saying it's tied to contracts, money, and moving up into new projects. Because the Three of Pentacles keep coming. This is coming up about money, sex, new projects, and obsessions. Because there are also women involved in this. And when I look at the cards, I keep seeing lovers and the Three of Swords. There was a three-way conflict here. Somebody had a lover here. And two women are about money. It's women and men about money. That's why I don't believe this man, Jonathan Soto, is alone. I don't believe he escaped alone with his own money. Either he's a bisexual or he had a lover and he was also jealous of Michael Gideon. Or I don't know if he had a thing for him on the low, because this kind of stuff keeps coming up. Obsessions, sex, drugs, obsessing over someone, fixating on someone, obsessed with this man, and some type of three-way love affair. Jealousy and a three-way love affair and disappointments and making money and feeling like this man some kind of way was a threat and someone was jealous of him inside of there, not just the shooter. It keeps... Someone else knows about this, and I'm really wondering, I don't know the details of it. How did he get away? Did he drive away by himself? Because there's a woman that saw this and knew about it, and there's somebody else that saw this. So, but they're not saying anything, and I'm just, like I say, God forgive me if I am wrong. But it's something about this thing here. And when I'm hearing this man say this, and then I'm looking at the cards, it's confirming what I'm saying. This is not a random shooting of somebody that's jealous that all these years he's been jealous of him and he decided to shoot him this year. Just strictly out of jealousy. There's also money, sex, and obsession. Obsession with this man, fixation on this man, a lot of jealousy and old rage. And it also ties to a love affair. So it makes me wonder, was somebody jealous of him and his wife, or wanted one of them or to break them up? Had he had an affair? Was it the shooter? Did he want this man? Was he dealing with the love of himself that was pushing him up to do this, that was secretly a part of the inside? Because this isn't making sense. And every time I look around this, I do not see that this was strangers involved and pushing him to do this, and this was alone, and he's alone. I also wonder which one of them has a drug problem. Was this Jonathan guy, this solo guy, did he have a drug addiction and a drug problem and a sex addiction as well as a fixation on Michael Gidewon? And Michael Gidewon is saying what he's saying to me about Atlanta, politics, government, nightlife, organized crime, drugs and sex trafficking, and murder for hire ties into those clubs, not just Hills. He said strip clubs and any other club. Those are certain districts and regions that are controlled by certain cartel. And Underworld, he said, this is what a lot of people do not know. And it doesn't mean that everybody's involved with it. He said, but in some level, you're going to run into it. Unless you have your own money and financing, but he said, but they're still inside of the banking and financing system. They have their tentacles there, and the politicians. And he said, a lot of these politicians mess with boys and men and set motherfuckers up. See, and the police. You got to grease a lot of people's hands to keep this wheel. You got to grease the wheel to keep it moving. I hate to say this here. Oh boy, I hate to be the one to say this here. And like I say, forgive me if any of you all that know him, if I'm offending you, because that's not what I'm here to do. Either you know these things and you'll never speak of them, or you don't know and you think I'm wrong because I'm speaking of it and you never heard it, or you never got that deep inside of that industry to know the other side of it. But he's not dirty. That's not what I'm saying. He would have told me and I would have seen it. He's not a dirty person. He knew these things were going on, but he did not know there was a murderer inside of one of his groups. It looks like a board of directors to me, almost, or like where they have meetings about money and projects and finance and things that they do. Is somebody and one of their groups who also wear their hair low. So I don't know if this man is also an Eritrean, or he might be half that, or has a similar. I hear a name, but I'm not going to say it. But there's also two women's in here, and I wonder, was it one woman sleeping with two men, or were one of these women sexually attracted to Michael Gidewon and wanted to have a relationship with him, but he chose not to take it there? It didn't go there, or maybe this person was letting him know they liked him, or they were around him, and it was maybe the talk of it, a possibility, because there was an attraction there, and then the tower came up. There was a big explosion here, and we know what the explosion was: the murder. There are these types of ties that I keep seeing inside of these circles. These people were sleeping with each other. Now, I'm not saying Michael Gidewon was doing it, but I'm saying it's very close to him. This woman was sleeping with two men inside of that circle that's into, as a publicist, as a manager, dealing with the clubs and promotions and entertainers and radio. And one of them is an Asian woman. The other one is a white one. And I see two black ones. And a gay man that messing with, Lord God. And this goes from here all the way to LA and to London and to Africa, basically worldwide, and dealing with these record labels and artists, rappers. It's these industries, you cannot separate them, and gang life. There are black gangs as well as up to Latin gangs, Mexican gangs, and Russian mob that basically has a deep, strong chokehold on politics and nightlife and real estate here in certain areas and zoning and planning in Atlanta. I'm gonna get off of that a minute. My head's still hurting. I'm just leaning over on the counter right now, trying to just leaning over, just hoping my head will stop hurting. But I know I pick up things in people's body. All my stuff is in my head where they shot that man in the head. It's on the side of my head, Jesus. Oh boy. My head was hurting so bad about an hour ago. All I could do just tears was all I could do was just cry silent, and my head was hurting so goddamn bad. It's been hurting. I just been trying to sleep. I wanted to do this last night. It was hurting so bad. I got up today. It was hurting so bad. Girl, I just said, let me stand up and lean over and do this here. Tell y'all something else real creepy. John Singleton has come back up in here with Nipsey. You know, from what I'm hearing from him, and anybody correct me if I'm wrong, John Singleton was heavy into politics out there in LA like Nipsey was, and other people in entertainment and music that wanted to save Crenshaw and save Leimert Park and certain areas like this that are historic black areas and rebuild them with that that initiative, that zoning initiative. And those areas, a low interest or no interest zone under Donald Trump. But like whites and Asians beat them to it. And I told y'all from the beginning, he told me Mayor Garcetti were dirty and racist, along with that black lady that was a prosecutor, Jackie something, before this happened. They tried to get the agents to run Nipsey out of the marathon, and the LAPD, along with Big U and Marquise Dawson. I have always told y'all, Marquise Dawson, David Gross, and that whole crew, T.I., all them that Nipsey trusted was partners and called themselves to buy back the block and all that, were dirty as hell and was not Nipsey's friends and wanted to set him up and murder him or lock him up or get him out of there because he was fighting to try to save that area for black people and brown people. And then John Singleton comes up. Because, you know, John Singleton said that he believed they were poisoning him. Said that he was sick. He started feeling real sick and a problem with his head and his blood pressure. So they were getting, the doctor told him that they were getting him medicine because he had a blood pressure, heart problem and shit, and said he take the medicine and his shit got worse. Said he believing they were poisoning and setting his ass up. So see, I don't know everything that John Singleton was in, but some powers that be, he said, as well as some black folk supposed to be entertainment and power, did not like John Singleton and want to get rid of him. And he said the doctor and them were poisoning him and the goddamn it medicine. I don't know if it was also somebody in his house or because he's showing me some water, some glass of water that he was drinking. He said something wasn't right. But the water and the medicine they were making him take. So see, look, you know, I'm just thinking I'm seeing and hearing this man say this to me from the other side. So if anybody can prove me wrong and say the man didn't have no problem or no blood pressure shit, then tell me, goddammit. I'll apologize. The man said they was somebody was doing something to his medicine. So they know that the medicine they were getting him, like he trying to slick say to me that he might not have had all them problems till they put him on that medicine, and the side effect of it made that man body get worse. So he said, well, real paranoid. He felt like they were trying to kill him. with that medicine they were getting, and said he would get sicker when they give to him, and he had more problem with his vision and seeing and his head, and they just didn't feel good. And he knew it was the medicine. Oh Lord, see, that tied in when him and Nip was talking about what they were seeing up there in their funeral home. So how they set folks up and get rid of them. Then you see his wife and I think other family members were fighting about his money or fighting about his estate, because he said he wasn't planning on dying. Like the way this physical happened to him, it throwed him for a loop. Like all of a sudden, said just took him out, and he had said this here to somebody that he believed they were poisoning him. I don't even know why he would take this drug if he thought that they were doing something to him. He was real paranoid. Like he said they killed him with this medicine. God damn it. Somebody had something to gain by getting rid of him. And he said there was a lot of treacherous black folks around him that was into politics. And then he mentioned Marquise Dawson again. Now, I don't, look, you know, I've been mentioning that man's name since I seen him with David Gross up there on that video when Nipsey was talking about building that high rise, and David Gross said, you know, we're going to tear all this down. And the look on Nipsey's face, and he grabbed his head like, nigga, we talked to it, but I ain't agreed to all that. Or something he said, I could see it in his face. Marquise Dawson, peanut head ass, was standing right there. Lord Jesus. Now, I don't know. If Marquise Dawson married with children, because Lord God, Lord Father God up in heaven, because I just want to know, because I could be getting this wrong. Because they kind of saying over there that he like to rub on Chinese men thing. And that's all I'm going to say. Lord Jesus, have mercy. Oh, Jesus, Father God. Said he in an interracial relationship, goddammit, with a Chinese man. Now, I don't know if it's Chinese, Korean, Philippine. He in an interracial relationship with an Asian man, Jesus. And so that's how he get a lot of his hookups and stuff. That's why I said, I apologize in advance if I got this wrong. Is he gay? Or is he bisexual? Is he married and got a wife? See, that's how he get his hookup in politics and go higher up and get his kickback. He set Nip up. I already told y'all that he set Nip up. But you know what? You see, I didn't come over here, game dog, for this. I already told y'all my head is hurting. Man, Nip friend, goddamn Michael Gideon and us a whole crew up in here, and damn John Sangernon came back in here talking about they done set him up and poisoned him. Then said Marquise Dawson tied into it and sent folks up with Major Garcet over there and stealing the goddamn Crenshaw area in the marathon. And they have Marquise Dawson get his way and get promotion to get what he want. Cause he man is Chinese. So he like Chinese thing. And I'm you know what I'm saying? Okay, he got a wife, and I'm telling you, Sandra Gill, he got her husband too. He got a wife, but he that man wife, you know what I'm saying? Won't you take me to Van in that Chinatown? Dan, won't you take me? That's what they saying over there in the spirit, Lord. That got a boyfriend. And he do dirty, corrupt things. And this here, just getting back to what Nip and said, yeah, boss lady said he like the Chinese Johnson. So that's how he gets stuff out there, because they run everything with the Russians and the Mexicans. So that's how he get away. Selling black folks and black communities out and on fucked up Crenshaw. Didn't I tell y'all in that very first reading? Y'all hit my cash app and make it clap, goddammit, because I'm taking a risk over here in my head. I'm dealing with my head. I wish I can get one of y'all to come over here and bring me something. Bring me something for my damn head. My head still hurt me so bad. I know I Shannon on her way over here to bring me something, but she couldn't stop and get me everything I need. And two, y'all send me a donation so I could get Nipsey and Michael Gidewon some food. I want to put them some Eritrean food up there and get their candles and stuff and set it off in here. Because they want me to light that sage. You know how I used to sit up there and light that sage and stuff? They want me to do that. Would y'all please send me some donations so I can get them some food and put up there and let y'all see it and share food with them, put the candles and stuff up there for them? Because they want some, they don't want just no regular American soul food. They want some Eritrean food up there. I want to respect them and put it up there. And I want to do prayers that they find this killer, this dirty ass Jonathan Soto that shot that man, Michael Gidewon, out there in front of his damn store. See, he need to be found and dealt with, goddammit. And I want to, y'all please don't. I hit my cash up, make it clear. No ginger tea gonna help my head. I need something today. I'm waiting for her to come over here so her mama bring over to drop me something off. My head hurts so bad. All I can do is drink. I'm gonna drink my green drink after the show. I can't even eat. My head hurting. It's so bad. And I feel on the side, I believe I'm feeling what that man felt in his head when he hit him and shot him. It's on one side of my head, the worst. So my eyes is hurting too. Yeah, they helped to, when I told you my first reading that Nipsey said, this was not about no two homeboys, this is about property and money and my assets. He said they split them up now, I'm not even coal in the morgue. And y'all have seen everything I told y'all about the underground train over there. I done heard about that. They said they got that train over there in front of Crenshaw, said run underground, and then right in front of the store right there in that area, it come up out the ground to pick up people that go back up under that. Didn't I tell you that man said they were doing that underground train? It was underground areas up under there. They done closed up, which Chinese people used to live when they was discriminated against a long time ago in the LA. I don't know if it was the 40s or 50s, and that the police still know and use them routes, and dirty gang members use them routes. That what I had said in 2019, that train is there, and Nipsey knew that train was coming through there. Marquise Dawson, all them niggas know in politics they were coming through there, and Nipsey held on to that property. They wanted to kill him and set him up. They didn't want him to have a stronghold over there. And they run them businesses out of there. Bad things have happened to them business owners over there. It looked like it's a dead area. It's a wasteland over there. And they regentrifying it. And you see them white folks over there building high rise and shit over there. And I told y'all that shit. Big Mar, oh, what you saying, Big Mar? Yes, it is to what? Peace, power, salute. Thank you, Big Mar. Thank you. You know, thank you, Gandalf. Yeah, all these people did. That's the very first reading. He took me out there. He told me. And I see that everything that man told me, I heard him correctly. And I'm going to get into something else here I don't want to get into. I mean, Lord have mercy. Just like I did a reading the other day, I put it on Instagram. And a lady put it up there on the AKT Celebrity Reads, the YouTube channel over there. That's not my channel. They uploaded them. I appreciate that. When I said, Nipsey said that them pilots be taking them antidepressant and antipsychotic meds. And said they got a Mile High Club up there with the membership of them pilots and the membership of them flight attendants, and be hooking up with celebrities and other peoples up there in them planes. And when they have layovers on them planes and a lot of them on them drugs, see, the FDA will allow a pilot, and I'm sure them flight attendants on it too, we just don't know. They will allow you based on your insurance. The insurance will cover certain antidepressant. This is not just me saying it. This is true. The FDA will allow a pilot to take certain antidepressant and antipsychotic meds, and the insurance company will cover they therapy and they treatment and they medication, and the FDA will approve it and they can still fly. But what a lot of them probably don't know, or what people don't know, they sleepwalks on that medicine. That's what Nip said. They be driving a car, they be sleep. They wake up out they sleep. They don't even know that they be woke up and be hooking up, partying, doing all kinds of stuff, like on that Ambien, that Prozac. This is not me saying this here. If somebody can, put the link in there. Just look up what anti-depression and anti-psychotic meds that the FDA will approve for a pilot to take while they are working for them and flying the plane. This is not my opinion. This is not, Nipsey told me out the spirit, but then I looked and confirmed it. But a lot of them don't know. They sleepwalk, open their door, have parties, get in their car and drive their car different places, and some of them it be deaths involved, but they might end up having an accident, killing themselves because they think they sleep. They think they're in the bed sleep. And he said this ties into hip hop. When you see these women and these men and they at these events and these parties, and then they wake up and people say, you're going to sign the contract. No, I'm not going to do that. Oh, you don't know what you did last night? Showing a film, he said some same type of drug. Because you know Nipsey used to be a drug dealer. And then he was heavy into this. This nigga is a pharmacologist, goddammit. And got into the weed business and knew the structures of it and created his own strain, Marathon OG. So he would know the chemistry of these things, the breakdowns of these things. And he sees the danger and the demonology. He says ties into the demonology of these things. Because people don't know that they're doing it. Let's say you hanging out with a girl, you want her to be a singer, you want her to be a rapper, you want to sleep with her, you want to have her at the party. You done gave her something she doesn't even know what it is or what it does. It might just look like some Molly. But it's a synthetic blend that has been designed to put you to sleep consciously. Then at a certain amount of time, they have a keyword or a trigger. You wake up and you don't even know you're woke. It's literally like they have hypnotists and handlers and drug dealers around. Lord have mercy. You doing stuff and you at a sex party or you're in a video or you're on the Grammys. You're being programmed and we think, oh, this person's just disgusting. They're doing this and that. Y'all, that person might not even be conscious. Depending on who the magician and the handler is. And what they're on that you don't know they're on. And then the planes are already outdated because the computer system needs to be updated and fixed, especially with certain airlines. People said, oh, I'm going to stay off the planes. I didn't tell you not to fly, not to ride on a plane. I just said, be careful which ones you ride. I look at the history of that company and the crashes, whatever, where they're going. You would have to do your own readings and talk to your spirits about which one to take, which one not. I didn't say don't take them at all, because if I have to, I would fly, because I hate riding in a car long distance. I never said don't fly. I just said be careful and watch the ones that you're on or that you're getting ready to get on. Because whenever I take a plane, I do those reads first and say, is it safe for me to take this plane? Because I've been in that position. That guy poisoned me from D Health Store. And then after that, I had to get on like 2 or 3 planes and I could barely stand up. And I was sitting in a chair in the airplane and I don't know how I did it. I fell on the floor because my mind was so messed up and my head was swollen up and I was thrown around and he had poisoned me. It was one of the most awful experiences that I had. And now I realized I was drugged. So there's certain things that you don't know is in your system where he's telling me, and these things are legal and they're medically approved and they're FDA approved and insurance companies approve what I just mentioned. You could Google it now while I'm talking to you and I'll stay live so you can call me a liar. If you cannot find it, this is not my opinion. When these people feel like they need them and they're stressed and they're depressed and some of these pilots don't want to fly. They're going through a lot of other personal problems and have other issues that you don't know that is going on. And you can even see on YouTube, and they have histories of some of them crashing the plane to commit suicide, and somebody's on there. You're going to be fucked if you get on one of them that has these mental issues. That's what he's saying to me. He says the same type of way they control and manipulate men and women to do things that they wouldn't normally do. When they sleepwalking, let me tell you something. I have one of my gay friends told me this happened to him. I'm going to ask him. I have been trying to reach him what he was on. He was taking a sleep medication because he said he couldn't sleep at night. And he had a lot of aches and pains and other issues. And he had all these different medications they had him on. When I saw him, he was real slim. He's tall. So, you know, he looked better, heavier, but he wasn't fat. Maybe he might be 6'2". He was slim. He has meat on him, but he had a slim stomach and everything. I hadn't seen him for some years, and I talked to him, and he was telling me he done got real fucking big, like real fat and a big ass stomach and shit. And he was like, I don't know. He said he didn't know why he was gaining the weight, and said he wake up all kind of dirty dishes and shit be all in the kitchen sink, and like the stove done been on, like he done went there cook some goddamn cheese toast and egg and sausage and crumb and shit be all around the stove. And I was like, what the fuck? He told me, I don't know. I don't know what happened. He said then he really got it when somebody told him, man, I seen you out here last night. You was driving your car and you went over there and you had paid this man for some ass. And he was like, no, fuck, I didn't. I wasn't out last night. I was asleep. I started laughing. I said, so wait a minute. You was out last night buying some ass, going to pay one of them young boys for some dick, and you don't remember? He said, I did not do that. I was in there all asleep. Then he said he kept on getting fat as hell. He didn't know why he was getting fat as hell. And somebody else said they see him driving to the goddamn store. And then he went back around there where the young boys be selling dick at and dope, and said that he had solicited a young boy. He said, they were grown. He wasn't no child. He said, that's a lie. I was at home. I was in the bed asleep. Several people kept telling him a different case. They seen him like 2 and 3 in the morning driving up there where the niggas be selling dick and booty and head. He talking about, I didn't. He said, and why? He couldn't explain his weight. He asked the doctor. The doctor didn't know. He said, how do he go to sleep and wake up and be 200 and 300 pounds? It's like months went by. He said as the months went by, he wake up out of his sleep, big double motherfucker, just big and big and big and big. Goddamn it, just built up. Like baby Huey. He said he wondered why his stomach was swollen up like that. He was so fat. He said, what the fuck? But then he started seeing, like I said, little crumbs and dirty frying pan and shit. Like he done put some grease in them and fried some egg and toast and all. He's like, the fuck? He goes to talk to his doctor, and then he looked at the drug, he said, man, I've been sleepwalking. I said, what? He said, apparently, that didn't happen to him when he was real big over months that go by until he started taking a certain sleep medication. And then he looked it up and talked to his doctor. Them the side effects so you could wake up and don't know you woke, cooking, cleaning up, fucking getting out driving. He said he was, luckily the man didn't get killed. He's still alive. He was driving, getting his car key, getting in the car. Like he wasn't conscious, but you subconsciously know where that dick at, because he was driving around, getting on the expressway and everything. Then drive back home, turn his car off, had his key to unlock his door. Go in there, put a key, lock his door back, lay down and go to sleep and wake up big as hell, dick hard. See, and you see what I'm saying? And then drawers missing. Like he didn't. Oh, man. Oh. Man, I remember till Nipsey brought that up. And I talked about it over on Instagram, and somebody gonna come in the chat. You know what? Nipsey is very messy. I'm like, he messy, but this shit true because I looked it up. I'm like, this master. Then my friend told me that it was happening to him. Yeah, because he gay. He was just going out getting him some cucumber. But then on top of that, you know, he had to go on a diet. He asked the doctor, what the hell is going on? Because I said, well, what are you eating during the day? He told me, I'm going to the gym every day. And he was bragging. He said, I feel so good. I said, I'm so proud of him. He said he was getting muscle and in shape. Then all of a sudden just started stretching out. Ass started getting big, stomach long and real big. And then he said, I'm going there cooking like a 2-course meal, like all this. He said, then his food, he looked in the refrigerator, the food was missing, like it was chopped up and opened up, and ham and stuff was chopped open. And he was like, who is coming in here, like eating my food, like chopping it up at night? It was him. Him like cooking gourmet meals and shit in there. And then he see the food open up in the refrigerator and wonder how the hell the food got on. So he talked to the doctor about it and look at the new medicine he was just given. And the sleep medicine was doing it. And I looked that up and read that and sent it to my assistant. It said you could take that stuff one time. I don't know if my assistant can hear me and she can put that link in here, or y'all can just go look at it. You think I'm lying and tell me I'm lying. He did not know that was, I guess he didn't read the potential problems, but a lot of people have taken these meds, including the ones that fly you around. See, that's why Nipsey wanted me to tell you. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to get out of here. Back to John Singleton. When they were talking about these rituals and body parts and gang members being cut up and killed and then go over there with the Astridge, the funeral home that Nipsey and John Singleton was at. There's a lot of occult stuff go on over there. I got into this a long time ago. I started seeing body parts. I'm talking to this man, like several men, and they were talking about their body parts. The old people, because I remember I had dealt with Nipsey talking about old people in their houses and losing their property here. And this also ties into hip-hop and entertainment with these Ifa priests and these Cuban priests and these people doing black magic for people in the industry, either sacrificing people or doing sacrifices for them. This man with his head cut off in California, it was a long time ago. I think it was Inglewood or somewhere. They done went in this man's house, this old man that's in his 80s. You can see if you can find it, because I'm not just saying this in the spirit. This is not just alleged, it's happened. But the man been talking to me in the spirit. Okay, several of these people that had body parts, and John Singleton was talking about this and come back in here, like they said they set him up and killed him and did a ritual on him. It was an older black man that was also blind. They found this man, I think in Inglewood, California, murdered, and his head was cut off and the head was missing. They found his body, Lord Jesus, in the house, but they done took that man's head. And John Singleton, as well as Nipsey, have been telling me these sacrifices have been going on. And you would think that's some random, because I've seen on the news before, you know, this year and last year, where this man got married to his girlfriend out there and cut her head off with a sword or something. And it was an actor a few years ago, real good looking actor. He cut his mother's head off. It was all over the news. I see that kind of stuff going on out there. Okay, this is what some of John Singleton told me with Nipsey and Jesus, the man with the head off. He says a lot of them out there with their head off. Remember Nipsey had me and I do that reading, the Black Dahlia came to Atlanta with Nipsey to speak, and how that famous magician and witch in the entertainment industry, that man, He is the one that Black Dahlia was under, and he cut Black Dahlia open down to her vagina. I'm not sure if they cut her head off or came near it and throwed her out there in California, and she was near Crenshaw. If you look at where Crenshaw is today, that is where they dumped the Black Dahlia's body. Real pretty, very white skin and very black hair. I think blue eyes, striking young woman that went out there to be a star. And they did a human sacrifice on her. They done came here before talking about their heads and these headless people and these human sacrifices in there where stars would come to this man's house that murdered the Black Dahlia. He had done this before, and he was also a doctor, so he knew anatomy and physiology. And all these stars would hang at his house. I forgot his name. I think one of his children now have admitted that he had something to do with it. Okay. This man, and I know this is going to sound far-fetched. It just give me the creeps. I don't even want to repeat this shit. And I think that's one reason why my head started hurting. He told me, when you go down there in California, he said them Mexicans be doing that stuff, and them witches inside of the entertainment industry, where they'll sacrifice them for a artist or to get power, and that it's Black Mexicans that you don't see, just like when we dealt with Shanquella and they murdered her down there, and they would act like they're not used to seeing Black people down there or dealing with their bodies once they've been murdered, or they didn't know Black women wear a lot of wigs. They thought the girl jumping on Shanquella was a man, and it did look very mannish to me, with a especially snatched that wig off. I wonder what was it. But I think they said it's a natural woman, the one that jumped on her. I'm waiting to hear some information about that case too, because I saw the first 3 months of 2023 movement would take place, and I really believe that girl is going to prison for what she did to Shanquella. But see, that's not true. They have Black Mexicans in Mexico that they treat like a dog and discriminate against them, but they don't let you see them. That was the headless man that John Singleton Nipsey told me. And some Mexican people came with no head on them and no hands and no foots, and be taking their organs out of them and putting dope in them, or just sacrificing them and eating them as well inside these industries to get power and to protect the drug dealers from getting caught and the mules from getting caught. So they, when the Black Mexicans come over the border, they murder them and they do rituals on them. And these spiritual houses and these famous people in LA, all of them have priests, and to go higher up, and even in politics, they have priests or have to be members of spirit circles, and who they get. The Black man, oh Jesus, did I just mention to you that they went in there and cut that man's head off? That man was friends with a priest, a Ifa priest, a voodoo priest, Cuban priest, deal with that type of magic. That's how they got that man hit. Lord Jesus God. These were not strangers that just went in this man's house and cut this blind man's head off. He was like maybe 60, 70 years old. He said this happened all the time to Black Mexicans that you don't see, that they suppress them, and the white-skinned Mexicans hate them and racist and prejudice over them. In Mexico and California, they know the strongest power is to use a Black, I'm talking about like real Black. They feel like they have more power and more ashe in them, more power, and the gods will listen and come down for them. They use them to call the spirits down, and they sacrifice them. Because when they use the white skinned Mexican or the lighter ones, the spirits don't respond as good. So it's an undercut. Oh man. Oh. That's how a lot of these rappers and these singers and all these peoples be getting power, baby. They drug them, put magic on them, and they get them in these houses, or they kidnap them. They know certain areas where them border patrol polices they'll leave them there and get a cut because they know when the black Mexican or they open that damn truck and where they. Oh, God. Y'all see why my head is hurting over here? You see, because I never heard of this here. John Singleton on down there come over here with messy ass Nipsey. And his friend, goddamn it, Michael Gidewon, is sitting this telling me from the side down here. They said go on down here too. It going in all these cities wherever these Mexicans are moved in and where they real violent in these Spanish countries and these Venezuelans and the ones that like to do shit over there and it ain't nothing, like they cutting somebody's head off. It's like them going there making them a state. They do this for spiritual purposes and offer them to the, see, this is what y'all fucked up on. And I used to be fucked up on it. You think Shango and Ogun and all them, they're just good. And they answer you, they be sacrificing humans to them. They have a dark side and they like human flesh. When you go on the black magic side, they really prefer human flesh, like these extraterrestrials prefer human flesh. And dealing with the womb of a woman, because what's most powerful they know is the womb of a black woman. And the lighter skinned ones and the white ones, whiter priests, they'll use them. And these black people, these black people will sacrifice another black person and take their heads, and that's how they get power in the entertainment industry. If you do not do that, you are not going to go up higher because you have to be handled, and there are different tiers of this. This is what John Singleton, he said they killed him. He said somebody did some type of spell, black magic against him to kill him and sacrifice one of them humans. The same thing Nipsey said. They did black magic on him and tied to these labels in music and movies and entertainment. And they do it down here in Atlanta. Sex and human sacrifice and trafficking. He said, because you're still a human sacrifice if you become a prostitute and a drug trafficker and a drug addict, and you have to participate in sex trafficking, you're doing sex parties, now you're a sex addict and you're a sex trafficker for spirits. You are holding, it's just like that girl that said she liked for Diddy to pee on her, said do something to her, have him have sex with her, and then use the bathroom on her. He already got her. And when they have sex with those girls, they're young and fine and pretty. Some of them have talent, some of them don't. They putting their ways and spirits on them, put their sperm inside of them, and they're carrying a lot of heavy demonic souls in them. 10 years from now, you look at them when they start getting 35, 40 years old, they either die or kill themselves, or their careers over, they look real drawed up and wore out. They have no use for them. Then it's the next 17-year-old girl, the next 25, 30-year-old girl. Because they putting their souls in their vessel. And those demons feed off of them, even when you have babies by them people. That is now a vessel for a demon. Because they have to keep giving human souls before they die and bust hell wide open. They have to keep giving to live that illusion of that life in the physical body, because their body have already been taken over. They sitting here explaining this to me. Nipsey and John Singleton up there in that funeral home and said that those types of things were heads being planted up under the building, or while you're doing construction, you want certain success, and certain that might be a baby head, might be certain, got to be a certain type of female, got to be a certain type of male, the head got to be put up on. See, the head be missing. Lord God, this is what the kind of stuff they tells me over here. Yes, and if you're going to let somebody do that, that's a very demonic person, that I would. You let somebody very demonic do that to you, got you with the fake money, with the demon money they done gave. She's already gone. Until he gets tired of her, the devils tell her, demons tell him to go on and turn her in or physically sacrifice her because we want her now. Her time done ran out with a contract. They'll tell them when it's time, and then he always messing with so many different women and babies by so many different peoples. And now I got a baby by this Asian lady. It's a beautiful baby, but it's a demon. And men's, that's what men's. Because you can do what you want. When you up there and you're protected by those spirits and you sacrificing humans and having human buffets where you digging out their flesh, and now you can do what you want to do until it's time for you to turn your soul in. See. Well, John Singleton, like I said, Queen Truth, that he said they killed him. John Singleton did not sell his soul. He did not do nothing dirty. They did it to him because he didn't want to play that game. Said then they start putting restrictions on him where he could only go so far, and some things he said he knew that he wanted to expose, and he saw what they were doing to Crenshaw, and Nipsey saw. They decided they were going to target them. And then you see right after Nipsey and John Singleton, it was Kobe. See, Kobe Bryant, who thought that would never happen to him because he had taken the oath. You know, I think I'm going to take a break at this point. I probably don't say it too much. I tried to say it in a nice way. You know, my son told me the other day, he said this nigga was in there, this young nigga, he said a lot of them in there on that stuff and fucking men's and running after trannies and all kinds of shit in there. He said this nigga done went to somebody in there and bought him a gram of methamphetamine, and said this nigga sat there the other night and smoked or was snorted a whole gram of methamphetamine in one goddamn night. So then the nigga snorted the shit and started hollering. Woo! Nurse! Nurse! Oh, nurse. You ain't get quiet. Woo! Nurse! Nurse! They snort some more methamphetamine. I snorted the whole thing, goddamn it, in one night. And she was hollering for 3 nights. They kept hollering the same goddamn it thing and all in the daytime. Woo! Nurse! Nurse! It wasn't even no goddamn nurse around. It was just some air. It wasn't even no nurse walking by, and nobody would call the goddamn nurse. Then he seen the nigga, his roommate was just grabbing him and holding on to something. Shh. Shh. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be quiet. It be quiet, just trying to hold on to him and hug the nigga, tell the nigga to be quiet. I guess they didn't want nobody to know, want the guard or, you know, in there, they got them a correction officer to know the nigga had done got a hold. I don't know when this nigga talking about, woo, like this nigga felt like his ass was hot, nuts was hot. I don't know what this nigga was feeling, goddammit. But this nigga like, goddammit, Irene Cara on Fame. What a feeling. Yeah, so this nigga then, woo, nurse. Oh, nurse. I don't know what the nurse gonna motherfucking do. I don't know what he thought. The nurse said them the only word the nigga kept saying. Nigga hollering that shit for 3 goddamn days, just hollering out the same said. Finally, nurse came and seen the shit and heard the nigga and walked on by. Then nobody even come. Then no doctor come. Then no nurse come. Every time the nigga hollering, calling the nurse like he see the nurse, wasn't there but air outside the damn cell. Wasn't nobody around. This nigga hollering. And I swear this nigga hollered for 3 days. And didn't nobody come. I said, well, what do you think? The nigga's nuts was hot or the nigga's nuts was cool or cold? The nigga talking about some woo nurse. I mean, that must be some good shit right there. You know what? I don't think I want none of that, but you know what? My head been hurting so bad. I wish I could call somebody for some shit like that to make me holler this motherfucker. Maybe they'll take my headache down or, man, this shit been so stressful on me, goddammit. I don't know what the fuck they gave him to make this nigga holler like that and look out there and call a nurse that wasn't even standing out there. Goddamn it, wasn't nobody there. He kept looking at the nurse and calling the nurse, but it wasn't no nurse there. I don't know what the fuck that was, but I bet his head went hurt like mine, goddamn it hurt. Like I said, I don't know if that was hitting that nigga in his ass. I don't know what he was feeling. To do that same holler thing, he just kept making the same sound and then just kept calling the goddamn it nurse. The nigga must have been feeling good. I don't know what the fuck. I said, what all he had? He told me some methamphetamine. I mean, the niggas bought a gram and snorted the whole thing, took too much on, and just started hollering. Calling, I said, I wonder, was it cool in his ass? Was it like tingling in his ass? Or was it big hard, like real hard to make this nigga up there holler and say that shit? Now, look, I don't know. I don't know. I said, well, did somebody finally come? Did the nurse, no, did nobody come and get him? You know, his roommate just kept on patting on him and, you know, rubbing him, trying to goddamn calm him down and shit. I don't know. He said, but mama, you know, yeah, that Ric Flair, Christine, I couldn't see y'all till just now. Said he was hot that, yeah, did it just like that. And he told my mama, you know, they could put anything in that stuff. Battery acid, Drano. I wonder, like, what the nigga was seeing or what the nigga was goddamn it feeling to make him do that holler like that and then start screaming for the goddamn it nurse to come in there and shit. I wonder, was it hot? Was it cold? Or what you said, Lucifer Morning Star? I don't think that you got to have a doctor, so you just can't order stuff from over there, Lucifer Morning Star. I don't think it worked like that, baby. I'm just, I said, but what did this say to mom? Look, I don't know. And I don't want to find out because ain't no telling what was in that. They put all kinds of trash and chemicals and acid, any type of thing might be in it to make that man holler like that. Up there called a nurse that was invisible, like he could see that shit. Nobody could see that shit but him. When nobody there, goddamn, I said, you know, I don't think I want none of that. But then again, I shit the way my head hurt, but shit, I would hate to get out of control like they said, because like the man didn't know what he was doing or what he was saying. I just want to know what he was feeling in his ass to make this man sit up there and do that shit. Right. I'm gonna see if she dropped my stuff off. Yeah. And like I said, hit my cash app. Make it clap. Like I said, I don't know if they were roasting or I don't know if they went from roasting to cool, like hot to cool, like that icy hot. I don't know, because then that man started hollering like that and he kept just saying the same thing for 3 days. It said 3 nights. That man was over there just saying the same fucking thing. Hollering like that and then calling the goddamn nurse. That's all that man could say. I don't know what kind of society. So what he was fixing? Look, I don't know. I don't want nothing but who would sit there and snort all that a gram in one goddamn night. He's like, Mama, I don't. So he began to attack and spirit around the holler like that and call a nurse from a psychic attack. Hey, bro, man, I heard that shit. Oh, I was hollering. I said, did you see the nurse? He said, Mama, no, they didn't come. Because they knew what he was fucking doing. They just laid him over there to do that shit. Oh no, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later on.